Welcome back to the nature of code in Rust and GGEZ. We're on to example I.3. We're going to create a random walker with dynamic probabilities. So let's see, it says, can we give it a 50% chance of moving in the direction of the mouse? We can definitely do that. Let's go ahead and try. I've already copied over the application and we're ready to go here. Let's go ahead and get sure everything is running fine. We are going to want to pull in rand, so let's go ahead and do that right now. And we're good to go. So same as before, we're not going to need this background color, so we can just get rid of that. We are going to want, see, we don't need that. We need white. So we should be good there. We don't need this self. We don't need U. Instead of that, we're going to want that X. We're going to want the Y. And we're going to want the mesh. So down here, we're not going to have this background color. We're going to create X equals. For this one, we're going to want to start in the center of the screen. So let's actually get the drawable size first. All right, so that should give us the width and height here. So now we can actually create our X and a Y. So X is going to be half of the width. And then we're going to create that mesh. So we're going to do exactly the same thing as last time and create a 1 pixel radius circle that's colored white. Let's see, radius, that's 1.0, a tolerance of 1, and our color is that white color. We're going to build this, pass in that context, and we're good to go. All right, so that gives us our mesh. I think that's everything we need here. So we can have X, Y, and the mesh passed in. Okay, we're happy there. Down here, we're not going to clear because we want to see the walker sort of wandering around. All right, so let's actually get that drawn out. And we're going to set a destination here of that self.x and that self.y. And if I don't do anything else, we should see a little tiny dot right in the middle of the screen. Because we're not clearing the screen every single frame, that's actually going to stay on there. We're going to get a streak of wherever it's going. So if we start with a exactly even chance of moving around, that so I guess we have to like choose what direction we're going in. But then we also need to choose like a 50% chance that we're going to like move in towards the mouse. So let's actually figure out in update what that's going to end up looking like. So a 50% chance of moving towards the mouse. We can get our if random, this can be at like a F32. So if that number is less than 0.5, let's say, so that's 50% chance, then we're going to sort of move towards the mouse. Else, we're going to randomly move. Okay, something that can actually sort of like help out here, we can actually create functions to make this a little bit nicer on us. So let's have a private function move towards mouse. We're going to take in a mutable reference to self, and I don't think we need anything else in here. Let's go ahead and return a game result just in case, just like that. And then we're also going to have this just like randomly move, which also is going to take a mutable reference to self. And we can also return a game result. This one doesn't actually matter. I don't think we need to return a game result at all. I'm not completely sure if we need to for this either. We can sort of like see how it ends up going with getting the mouse position, because I think that's the only one that we might need to do that. Okay, so then here we can replace you with self dot randomly move, and the move towards the mouse can be self dot move towards mouse. I'll take away that question mark if it turns out that we don't really need it. Okay, so move towards the mouse. We need to grab the mouse location. So we can get that out of the mouse object in GGEZ. So let's see what actually, well, we have documentation. We can go take a look at that. So over here, GGEZ input mouse, and then position. So get the current position. So we can go take a look at that. Okay, it's not going to return a result. It's just going to, it takes into context and it returns a 0.2 F32. So we can get the X and Y off of that. And yeah, so we don't, turns out we don't need to return this game result. We'll be fine here. So we'll not do that. And we don't need this question mark. All right, so let's get that mouse position. It's going to be, what is it? It's going to mouse position. Pass an O. You know what? We do need the context. So let's go ahead and take that in here. So we are going to have to pass in the context here. All right, so that gives us the mouse position, which we see is a 0.2, so we can get the X and Y off of that. Now, the way we move towards it was we just compare our own X. If we're to the left of it, we'll move to the right. If we're, if we're less than it, we'll move. Like basically, we'll check to see what side of it we're on. So if self.x, so if we're less than is less than mouse position.x, so that means we're to the left of the mouse position. That means it's time for self.x plus equals 1.0. Move to the right. Else, that must mean we're to the right of it. Now, is that true? Because if we're exactly on like the X level, we don't necessarily want to move left or to the right. So we should probably do an else if here. And we'll do self.x if we're now greater than the mouse position.x. Okay, so that means we're to the right of it. We want to do self.x minus equals 1.0. In a completely different if statement, so we want to like move diagonal here essentially. If self.y is less than mouse position.y, this means that we're above it, so we want to move down. All right, so that's basically the same logic that we have with the x. We're just going to move towards the x position or towards the y position, or actually both, if possible. Now, why are you? Okay, I just had a save. Now, what are you upset about? This if has the same condition as a previous if on by default. Oh, you're right. I want this to be greater than. Thank you, Clippy. Okay, so that's us moving towards the mouse. Now, if we want to randomly move, we can do the exact same random. So let random number is equal to random. We can give this a F32. And then we can do something very similar to what we did last time, which is if we have a like just like 25% chance for every type of movement. So if random number is less than 0.25, then we're going to move, let's say up. If random number, if you're less than 0.5, self.y. So let's move to the right. Then we can move down. And then finally, we can move to the left. All right, so that should have us randomly move. So we have a 50% chance of moving towards the mouse, otherwise a 50% chance of moving just in a completely random direction. And that updates our X and Y, and so this should be running now. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, so that has a very strong propensity to go down. Oh, look, I'm able to move it towards the mouse here. That's a very strong attempt to go towards the mouse. Now, I do see like little movements up and down, so it is definitely trying to go in other directions, but 50% is such a high value. It's going to be trying to go towards the mouse, well, half the time, which we see here. We can actually sort of like draw a little bit. Now, even when the mouse is off the screen, it knows the last position that the mouse was, and so it's going towards that. But that is exercise I.3. I noticed that we have, according to this, we have a couple errors. Stuff.y. Okay, so we have a logical bug here. We have the plus equals and the randomly move. We don't want that. So this is, I think this was X to go plus equals that. So this is Y is down, Y is up. So down, up, left, and right. Okay, let's actually run it again. I think it may work a little bit better this time. It still feels very similar, but that's because it's always trying to go towards the mouse, essentially. I do see it sort of squiggling left and right, and like sort of slowing down. So I think everything is working out now. We have no more errors, no more warnings, so I think we're good to go. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.